Bhakti is devotion, is love. Does meditating make me love more? Or does loving more make me meditate? Yes. Yes and yes. You know, there's a reason that we speak about spirituality as an opening, or as an awakening, or as an unfolding. It's not a linear process. It's not about point A, point B, point C. And so many of these things happen simultaneously. Many of them lead into each other. Many of them become each other. And so meditation is experiencing the truth of who I am. That's what it is. It's not some fancy, complex, esoteric technique to see lights and shapes and whatnot. It's taking you into the truth of who you are. My guru, Puja Swamiji, always says, sadhana means our spiritual practice, our meditation, our seva, our japa, all of our practices. They don't bring God. It's not if you meditate enough and you meditate right, God will love you and then God will appear. It doesn't bring God. God is there. What sadhana does is it cleans the window so you can see God and experience God. So as I'm meditating and experiencing the truth of who I am, does love for God blossom? Absolutely. Because all of that which keeps me from loving, my ignorance, my fear, my attachments, my ego, as I meditate, I let go of all of that. And I sink into a truth of who I am. And so when I do that, I become free of that which confines me. So love blossoms. Love is the core of who we are. There's a reason it's one of the few things that we're born knowing how to do. Most of the rest of it we have to be taught how to do. We don't know how to eat. Mothers have to teach their babies even how to suckle on a nipple. We don't know how to walk. I mean, we can't move. We can't speak. But we can love. Straight out of the womb. No education required. It's the core of who we are. And by the way, it's not even just about, I love the one who's providing me. Stand in line at a grocery store and smile at a baby in a stroller in front of you or behind you. Now, you're not the one providing that baby with anything. You're not the mother or father protecting it. You're not the one feeding it. But the love in that child's eyes, it's what gets everybody, universally, doesn't matter. But there is something universal about all of us. We look into the baby's face and we all go, ah, kuchiku, yes, yes. But we all do it. There's something in us that is just pulled by that love. So love is the core of who we are. And that's why being in love, loving at all, feels so good. Not just romantic love, of course. Love of everyone, love of the baby in the carriage. It's why love in general feels so good, because it's the core, the truth of who we are. So when I meditate and I become free of the encumbrances, I'm free to love. Love blossoms. So, yes, meditation leads to bhakti, it leads to devotion, because the purest form of love, the fullest form of love, is love of God. And so, regardless of whomever it is I may think I'm loving, or just general love, it's ultimately love of God. Because if I'm really loving, what I'm loving is essence, is spirit, is soul. And that's divinity. Doesn't matter what word we use for it. But if we're loving something other than just form, other than just your body, we're loving God. If it's your soul, your essence, your spirit I'm loving, well, the divine in me is connecting to that divine in you. And that's the other reason being in love feels so good, is my body cannot love your soul. My body can love your body. My intellect can love your intellect. My neuroses, my neediness can love your neuroses and your neediness, and we can be mutually in love neurotically. But if I'm loving your soul, well, I can only do that from my soul. Which means that in order to love you fully, I need to drop into my soul. And that's the other reason it feels so good, is it is giving us the experience of who we are as soul, connected to soul. So yeah, love blossoms. And of course, can it go the other way? Can bhakti lead to meditation? Of course. Have you ever found yourself in love? And you just suddenly find a sense of merging, melting, stillness, oneness? That sort of ocean experience, the drop merging with the ocean experience? Of course. Can happen with another person. Can happen listening to devotional music or music that fills you with love, that opens your heart. It can happen watching a sunset. It can happen in the forest looking at trees. It can happen looking at a baby, your baby, someone else's baby. There's a moment of just the mind becomes still, and you just allow yourself to merge into that ocean of love. And meditation is when, we begin prior to meditation. We begin with concentration or single-pointed focus. And so the techniques that we're given are all those that are given to us to bring the mind to one place. So we focus on a mantra or a word or a sound or an image or a candle flame or our breath, because it brings our mind from being all over the place into one place. And then that becomes meditation. That's a technique into meditation. that becomes meditation when there no longer is the one who is meditating and the object of meditation, but actually when they become one. And so through my love, through my bhakti, through my devotion, if I can be that drop merging into the ocean, oneness comes. There no longer is me and you, there's just us, right? We feel this in love all the time. Where we were separate, now there's just oneness. When that happens, it's meditation. When the mind is still and I'm connected to the source, to the truth of oneness, whether I've gotten in there through chanting a mantra, whether I've gotten in there through love that began of one person but became expansive to the divine and all of creation, however it happens. But meditation happens. So yeah, it goes both ways and every way. And that's what's so beautiful about the path, because bhakti, then your love, becomes your path. And meditation becomes the path. So it's not just meditation on my cushion or bhakti for this image of God. But my life becomes love, my life becomes meditation. And they mix and they melt and they merge into one. Because that oneness is you. So however it's easier to get in, it doesn't matter. Just get in. If it's easier to start with meditation, start with meditation. If it's easier to start with bhakti, start with bhakti. However it's easier. Just get in.